did any of you have a problem coming through to Provan Conference Center this morning? GPS? Directions? Any of you? No one. I did. And you know why? Because I asked a black person directions. Yeah, no, like, it's the thing. You know, with white people, we need to take this from white people, guys. White people give you stunning directions. They'll tell you that there's a set of, not even robots, or traffic lights, honey. There's traffic lights that you're gonna meet, and you turn west. And upon turning west, you're gonna see an intersection, not a stop sign, not a four-way stop, no, an intersection that you're gonna see, and you will see a good-looking house or whatever, number 171, Profound Conference Center, whatever the case may be, right? No black people, you ask them directions, so you are going to pass robot number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And on robot number 5, you're gonna turn left. And as you turn left on robot number 5, there is a stop sign and there's a woman selling cigarettes or selling sweets there. And when you see that woman, you must ask her where to go. And as you go, you're gonna pass stop sign number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. On stop sign number 6, there's a dog. What if there's no dog on that day? Or there's a green container. What if the green container is not there anymore? Right? It's quite crazy. So you need to take something from white people, folks. Alrighty, our next speaker is Kwandile Sikhosana, folks. And he's a community developer, a prospective president of South Africa. Hailing all the way from Davidton, he's the co-founder and chairperson of Davidton Book Club. Also, Youth to Youth Summit in Dubai, British Parliament Commonwealth. He's also touched thousands of lives in his community. Now, Kwandile established 11 book clubs to date and distributed about 10,000 books as well. Trained in accredited courses were over 500 people, of which 150 got employment with some started their own businesses as well. He's an award-winning community developer, having won Mail and Guardian Top 200 Young Most Influential South African in 2017. Folks, Kwandile.
How's it going, guys? So I'm from Davidton, yeah? So just like how we were talking about disabilities, I promise you, coming from a township was like coming from or having a disability, because as soon as you tell people I'm from Davidton, they'll start hiding their bags, checking their cell phones if they're still there. So it was a whole issue. So I made it my job to change the narrative of what it's like to come from the township. How many of you guys are from the townships? Quite a lot of people. So I had an issue growing up. I was fortunate enough to go to white schools coming from the township. I never paid school fees ever in my life because I was good in athletics, academics, and so on and so forth. But now the problem is, you go to the school, there's a whole different mindset, there's a whole different way of doing things. So at home, they afford to give you 2 rand for lunch. When you get to school, Jeremy is your friend, he has 50 rand. That's the same amount of money you use to get bread for the whole week. So it was always an issue for me to make friends, because I could never have the flashy clothes that they had. I could never have the cell phones. I never had the money to go to movies and so on and so forth. So I had to create my own idea of where I wanted to go and how should I go about doing this whole thing, and where exactly should I get the information to do that. So it was a struggle, because you know they say blacks don't read. This was a prime minister of South Africa before it became a democratic state. The reason why blacks don't read is because a book costs 150 rand. So would you rather buy a tomato, potatoes and bread, or would you go and buy a book, get educated, or so on and so forth? So I made it my business to bring infrastructure and opportunities to the people. So I have 2 million books that I got. But how I got there, I literally went house to house asking for a book, because black communities, they decorate with books. So you'd find that there's an encyclopedia, someone needs it out there, but your grandmother is decorating with this, and nobody touches those books ever. So really, we need to change the mindset of how black people do things. It be in finances, politics, economics, and so on and so forth. So basically, that's how I started my journey. And I believe that everyone here has a role, has a responsibility, and has a purpose. So if you understand your purpose, understand your role, you'll never be swayed by what's happening, what's new, what's not, what's old, what's fashionable, right? So I realized that a lot of people put positions first as opposed to their purpose. So someone would say, I'm Kwandile, I have a Mercedes Benz, as opposed to I'm Kwandile and my purpose is to bring about education in Africa. So my purpose, guys, is to bring about education in Africa and also become the president of the country. So I'm studying a law degree. It has taken me 6 years. I've only done 2 years of law. And the reason why I want to share the struggle is because one day you'll see me in the news, you'll see me wherever, and you think, oh, that guy is so successful, he never had issues. I want you to know that I have struggles every day with going about my business. And I'm going to be a billionaire, I'm going to be a president, I'm going to do all these things with my problems because my problems make me beautiful. So what happened is, no one at home could afford to take me to school. So I had to be a waiter, I had to do all crazy things. I had to be an entertainer. Sometimes I had to sing, and I can't sing as beautifully as he can. But you know, I had to do all these awkward jobs to be able to pay for school fees. So I'm going to my 3rd year in law next year. And I hope one day when I graduate, I'll be able to impact people, because the Constitution is a beautiful book, but not everyone knows about it. So the issue of blacks don't read. If blacks don't read, they won't be able to be protected by the Constitution that purports values that benefits them. So essentially, black people will be treated the way that they're treated because they are not able to understand the Constitution, how they are promoted by the Constitution, and how they can stand for themselves based on these laws that govern us all. So that's why I do what I do. I have 11 book clubs / libraries across the country. I've represented South Africa in the African Union Youth Parliament last year. Also, the initiative has went to Kenya. Next month, we go into London again. Sarah Madingwana, who's the co-founder of the Dixon Book Club, is the one that's driving that. Last year, I met the Prime Minister of Britain, who is Theresa May. I gave a speech in the British Parliament as well. Also went to Facebook, BBC, and various other platforms of which are really huge. And I went to Dubai to represent South Africa at the Youth to Youth Summit that was hosted by the UN. And guys, I'm from the township. I managed to do the things that I'm doing today based on the fact that I have a drive and I have this vision. And it's very pinpoint, like I can never be distracted by anything because I know what I want. And I'm not saying all these things to say, oh guys, I'm so great, you can't do it. I'm here, I'm where I am because I believe in myself, and I'm sure that if you understand yourself, you believe in yourself, you can be anything and anything that you want. I'm also working on initiatives called the Blackburn University Initiative. So I'm the youngest person in the world that's working on initiatives to bring about a university. This project cost 3 billion rand. So if you understand numbers, 3 billion rand is a huge number to be working on. And this initiative is going to aid at least 5,000 people in its first year. So what I'm saying is, if I can do it, and I keep on emphasizing this, if I can do it, so can you. So today, as we about to leave, please understand that you have a role, you have a purpose to understand. Because input, process, output. You need to understand what you need to do, how to gym or how to prepare your mind to be able to have the outputs that you want. Ne? So guys, my thing is around understanding yourself and knowing that you can be great wherever you are, whatever age you are. And Ompile and also Stacy, guys, you guys are amazing. What you're doing now, imagine in 20 years' time. So keep going and be a motivation to other kids. And also, guys, everyone who's not able to sit on these chairs as a motivational speaker or a guest today, just know that you also have a beautiful story to tell, and you also deserve platforms like this to speak about your own life because it is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwandile. Thank you very much. Q&A quickly. Thank you very much. A round of applause one more time, please, folks. That's quite amazing. We all come from, I'm from a very small village called Soweto. I don't know if we all know it. It's a small village. It's called Soweto. It's obviously because when people go home in December for holidays, right, they always say, I'm going home to Limpopo. I'm just like, I'm in Soweto, guys. Very nice village. It's mine. I love it so much. Alrighty, so we are opening the floor for a Q&A. Stacey, it's Stacey's day.
I just want to ask, what are some of the challenges you have faced making and growing your business?
So with me, I always knew that my role would be around helping people, but I didn't know how expensive it would be. So I started an initiative. I wanted to build libraries. I wanted to start universities. I didn't understand the financial constraints that will come with that. Just like yesterday, we were planting trees in 100 schools. So we had to do, I was telling Stephen that we woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning and we ended at 7 p.m. at night, planting trees at different schools. And the amount of costs that come with that, I mean, for you to be able to travel from one point to another, it's money. So how do you then make sure that this purpose and this fire that's in you, you're able to raise funds? So I think the struggle for me, because for a whole year no one was funding me, no one was donating anything, no one was doing anything, I was doing it from my own pocket. So this whole thing of working somewhere and coming back to push and drive change. So with the issue of respect, you need to understand when we come and donate things to your school and when we give talks, we use our own finances, time and effort, and when you get there the people are not interested, they're busy on their cell phones. It's very disrespectful on us because we understand the drive and the pain that comes with doing the things that we do. So I think financial constraints was the biggest one.
Yeah, thank you so much. There we go. You spoke financial constraints and people are already raising their hands.
When did you build your first library and where was it located?
The first library that we built was in Davidson, the township that I'm from, because we wanted to create a legacy first before going to other provinces and other countries. So it was a mobile one because unlike Stacy and Ompile, your parents are supporting you. But sometimes other kids are not supported, hey? So even with me, like no one understands what I do. Like no one in my family understands what I do. But for me, it was to have a mobile library that's gonna go from one area to the next, to encourage parents to come to these book club sessions, to understand what we're trying to do with their kids, so that they're actively involved. We're not a daycare center. We don't take kids and then they can do whatever they want to do. We want them to be actively involved in doing the things that we are doing. Because Davidson is synonymous with gangs. So if you check Davidson on Google, the first thing you're gonna see is gangs. So we wanted to change that whole mentality and involve parents to our sessions and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good one.
When you become president,
Yeah.
what would be the first act or thing that you would put out there?
E-tolls.
For me, the first thing that I want to concentrate on is the issue of economic freedom. You cannot say there's a BEE structure or policy around BEE and not educate people exactly what is BEE, because we are made to believe that BEE is just being black. But if BEE was about just being black, everyone here would be successful. It's not about that. And only a few people benefit from BEE, not the whole society. So how do we then change that whole thing? Because BEE is a very nice model, but nice doesn't serve the people. So how do we then ensure that BEE helps everyone who is black and who is driven and who wants to drive change and also start initiatives like companies? So for me, it will be addressing economic issues and also ensuring that, with this whole thing of land, they say we want land. But if you want land, there's land in Eastern Cape, Free State, Limpopo, all these other areas. But those pieces of land need to be developed. So you can't just give people land and not develop the land to make sure that they are able to drive economic freedom. So for me, would be bringing about resources and actually talking about this whole thing of economic freedom and how it can benefit everyone who's involved in the South African rainbow nation painting community. Sorry.
I'd like to ask, you said you're a student.
Yeah.
So how do you manage your time, like having to study and then doing all that you do? Are you a part-time student or full-time student? Either way, how do you study because school is demanding?
I'm a part-time student. Hugh Masigela, I think 5 years ago, said something that just blew me away. He said, time is an illusion. I don't sleep, I take naps. So basically, what that means is, when I'm done here, I need to go somewhere and work on something. And I'm studying part-time, so I don't sleep, I take naps. So I dedicate my time. All these initiatives that I do have their rights. I don't have time for partying, because that will come maybe at a later stage, and maybe that time I'll be so bored by going out and doing things that it won't be a part of my DNA. But for me, it's prioritizing what's important to ensure that I'm able to succeed in all fields that I'm doing. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much, folks. A big round of applause for Kwandile. Thank you so much. I think what we're going to be doing is, after every speaker has spoken, we'll have only 3 questions. And then if anyone wants to speak, please, we will have time to go outside, to mingle. You can ask them questions then. Is that okay?